Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're going to be starting Unit 4, which is all about chemical reactions, and Unit 4.1 is simply an introduction to that. So let's get started. So if you've watched my videos in the past, you've gotten used to the fact that I put a little factoid at the beginning of every presentation. And I just think this one is really interesting about how the microwave oven was first invented. So as I said, Unit 4 is all about chemical reactions. And this first subunit is very short. It's an introduction, and it essentially makes sure that you remember back from Chem 1 the difference between a physical change and a chemical change. Okay, so a physical change is changing some kind of a substance, but not changing its chemical composition. And I'll give you some examples. If a substance goes through a phase change, if an ice cube melts into water, if a sample of liquid bromine vaporizes into the gas phase, any kind of phase change, those are physical changes because the chemical composition of that substance remains intact. Separation techniques like chromatography or distillation or filtration, any of those also are physical changes. A third example that's not on the slide that a lot of people think is a chemical change, but it isn't, is the process of dissolving. If I dissolve table salt or sugar, any of those, in water, the process of dissolving is not a chemical change. That would also be a physical change. So what is a chemical change? A chemical change is when you do something that the chemical composition, the formula, changes, okay? You are creating a new substance. Bonds are being broken and new bonds are being formed. So essentially, anytime you carry out a chemical reaction, that is a chemical change. And what are some indicators of chemical changes? Again, this is something you probably went over in Chem 1. There are more indicators than are listed here, but these are sort of the big ones of observations that could indicate that a chemical change has taken place. If there's a temperature change, heat is either released or heat is absorbed. If there is production of light, think of like a glow stick, okay? What goes on inside a glow stick, that's a chemical reaction. If there's bubbling or formation of a gas, that's typically going to be the formation of a new substance that's in the gas phase. A precipitate, let me refresh your memory about that term. A precipitate is a solid product. Okay, so maybe you've poured two aqueous solutions together, and all of a sudden you notice that there is this solid material settling to the bottom of your beaker. That's a precipitate. Lastly, a color change of some sort. Okay, if you place, for example, a ball of aluminum foil inside a beaker of copper sulfate and let it sit there for a while, you will start to notice that the aluminum foil has turned red, and that's because copper, pure copper, which is sort of a reddish color, is precipitating out and coating that aluminum foil. So a color change can be another indicator. So this first subunit was a very quick one, just to kind of refresh your memory about the differences between a physical and a chemical change. So I hope that triggered your memory a little bit back from Chem 1. And I look forward to seeing you next time.